I thought I should probably comment about this just because it parallels an article that I wrote on my Substack page not long ago. And it's not exactly the same thing, but it's similar. And it's being voiced by Billy Corgan, the lead singer of the Smashing Pumpkins, who were a big, popular rock band in the 1990s, and I guess maybe afterwards. But what he says here is similar to what I say in that article. My article is about is called the grunge psyop, and it got a lot of it generated some interest. It got a lot of responses, some positive, some negative. Some people thought I didn't know what I was talking about. Other people thought that it sounded at least possible, or if not likely. But my whole thesis or hypothesis was that at right around 1990 or 1991, there was a switch that was flipped where suddenly loud guitar music ceased to be metal and became grunge. And I did a video where I read the article out loud with some multimedia presentation, such as it is. I don't have a very sophisticated setup here, but I used a bit of some examples of both genres of music to help underline what I was saying. And my thesis there is that there was a the sudden mainstreaming of grunge music was something that didn't just happen willy-nilly, that it was a switch that was flipped by someone, by powerful forces for social conditioning purposes. And what Billy Corgan says here is a little different. He's talking about a time that's a bit later. He's talking about the late 90s and the change that he says he saw happen at around that time. But it's similar insofar as what he says, or what the argument that he makes. So let's hear it.
I think that rock has been purposely dialed down in the culture.
When would you say that began? Mid-2000s?
Late 90s. I think the first, and again, this gets wizard behind the curtain, right? Somebody's going to say, well, how do you know, or who was the wizard behind the curtain? All I know is I saw the gravity shift, okay? If you were at MTV or around MTV, 1997, 98, suddenly they decided rock was out, when rock was still very, very high up in the thing. And it was replaced by rap. They immediately changed the way their standards and practices immediately shifted. So now that things that weren't allowed were suddenly allowed, people were waving guns, okay? So some people assert that the CIA was involved in all that, again, above my pay grade. But I saw it happen. I did witness it happen, okay? And of course, great music came out of it. So it's not a barren wasteland where something was pushed in that replaced something. Qualitative things and great artists came in, but there was this overt shift. I saw it happen. And then now, as you pointed out, rap seems to be waning in terms of its cultural influence. Pop is completely dominant. Rock is probably the most dominant ticket-selling thing in the Western world, and yet there's almost no representation of rock in culture. So why do we have that schism? I think they purposely dialed down the ability of rock stars to have a voice in the culture.
All right, there you have it. Well, as far as what to make of all of this, I guess that's up to you, up to all of us. So, interestingly, even though Billy Corgan was obviously an insider, he was the guitarist and lead singer of a extremely popular band at around that time. What he's saying is basically similar to what I, who am not at all an insider, was saying with my article called "The Grunge Psyop," which is to say he felt just a shift of gravity. He saw it happen. He was just paying attention to what was going on, and he saw that suddenly they changed their standards, and suddenly, even though rock was still a popular thing, it got muted by the bigwigs, by the powers that be. He doesn't know. He's very humble about as far as saying why it happened or who made it happen. He admits that he doesn't really know. In my article, The Grunge Psyop, I offer a thesis, or I have some real suspicions about why the shift happened, why the gravity changed, whereby suddenly metal was no longer cool, and loud guitar music that for young white men was suddenly grunge instead of metal. Grunge had a very different aesthetic than metal, had a very different attitude than metal. And I'm not going to go into all of that here, but you can read my article or you can watch the video about it if you're interested. I don't really have much more to add than that. I just found it interesting that Billy Corgan says something similar about a time a few years later, and he says it's when rock got phased out and got replaced by rap, which he says now is in the process of itself being replaced by something else. And I don't know enough about the contemporary scene to know what's supposedly phasing rap out now. But there you go. What do y'all think?